Limestone Cafe.
Merħba lura fil-programm Maltese DownUnder. Fit-taqsima li jmiss, Mark Avellino ser jitkellem mal-membri tal-grupp mużikali The Strays li propju ftit tal-ġranet oħra ser jissieħbu ma' Glenn Matlock, ex-mużiċista ma' Sex Pistols, fuq tur mużikali madwar l-Awstralja u New Zealand.
Corey, you've already got a connection with Maltese Down Under. Your dad wrote the theme tune for us. About 18 months ago now. So music does run deep in your family's blood.
It does.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into music yourself?
It's pretty simple actually. When I was a kid, my dad gave me a pair of sticks, and I haven't put those sticks down since.
So you're a drummer?
Yes, I am.
And Dizzy,
I play guitar and sing. Yeah.
Guitar and vocals, and
I
Jay?
play bass.
So the thing about your band is you guys are called The Strays, and you have a rockabilly influence in your music. How did you sort of kind of get to that style of music?
Just again, through our dads.
We all grew up listening to it.
Brought up on everything from sort of the 1950s right through till sort of now, but just mainly rock and roll. So the different eras of rock and roll. I guess 1950s you had Elvis and all those guys, and then the 60s you had the Beatles and the Stones, and 70s you start getting into sort of other sort of styles of rock and roll. But we sort of like it all, and we sort of try and incorporate it all into our sound. So
yeah, one of the things coming up for you guys is that you're going to be supporting, not supporting, you're actually back in the backing band for Glenn Matlock, who, in case people don't know, is a former member of the Sex Pistols. How on earth did something like that come around for three people from Melbourne who, are fairly unknown? How did that all happen for you guys?
It's just one of those lucky things. Last year we did a tour with Glenn and Slim Jim Phantom from the Stray Cats. There was a guitarist, Earl Slick, who played with David Bowie, was playing with them due to come out, and it was around the time of David Bowie's death, so Earl Slick couldn't make it, and just me and Jake sort of were lucky enough to sort of get this job through the promoter, and we sort of met the guys through email and got some songs sent to us and learnt the songs. So we did that tour last year, and then just recently, about 3 months ago, we did another tour with Slim Jim Phantom of the Stray Cats, and now this one with Glenn. So it's sort of like, just sort of the ball's just rolling now.
Yeah.
And when they come to Australia, we're lucky enough to get the gig playing for them,
So who's the music writer in the band? Is there anyone?
I guess I write the songs.
Yeah.
Sort of always wrote songs with my brothers. Yeah, that's sort of, now we've just got books and books of songs, But, you sort of got to break it up too. You don't get... In Australia, you don't get paid a lot of dollars to play your own music. So, we sort of branch out, and sometimes we play covers and sometimes we play our own stuff. So.
Yeah. So for you as a drummer, is there a difference to playing something from the 70s to playing something from the Sex Pistols? Like, what is the biggest difference for you as a drummer?
Playing with these guys, it's a lot heavier. Like, the sound is a lot heavier, and there's a lot more energy, but playing with my dad and my brother, it's more of an acoustic sort of thing, more acoustic environments, and if I am hopping on the kit, it's just more of a chilled sort of vibe.
Yeah. And do you have a preference for one or the other, or you're fairly kind of just happy to be
have
playing?
to stick with these guys.
So, Jake, how did you get into sort of doing music?
So same thing as the other two guys. Dad was always playing in rock and roll bands and bass player as well, so I just picked up off him.
And so from a really early age, or?
Like all my life, really. It was always, like, since before I was born, so it was always around, and when you're told not to touch something, you always tend to go straight for it.
Very true, very true. So with this sort of upcoming tour with Glenn Matlock, what sort of venues are you playing in? Do you know yet?
Well, I mean, the biggest sort of one that's based around is the Airlie Beach Festival up there in
Queensland.
Sundays, up there. So yeah, that's sort of what the whole tour is sort of based around, that festival, and you know, you sort of got other acts like Shannon Noel, Baby Animals, and
So
Leo
are you guys
Sayers on
where
that.
are you like the headline?
We're the headline on the Saturday night. Yeah,
Oh my
so
God, wow.
so that should be good. And then the rest of the tour is just sort of clubs around, sort of Brisbane, Newcastle, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, and we're actually going to Tasmania, which is a rare one,
Right,
you know.
yeah. So what's in the pipeline after Glen Matlock?
Well, we just have a bunch of gigs sort of through till the end of the year. A couple of big gigs and a couple of interstate ones and stuff just for our own band. And then probably early next year we'll record a new album and put that out and yeah, just sort of keep gigging and maybe try and get overseas next year at some point. And
So do you have any music already recorded available on iTunes or anything like that?
not so much on iTunes, more of sort of independent sort of stuff at the moment, just sort of for sale at gigs or sort of, you know, some sort of independent record stores and stuff like that. Sort of doing it a little bit old school still, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably this album will be on iTunes and stuff like that. So yeah.
So the music that you've currently got recorded is still very much this sort of rockabilly style.
Yeah, like it's sort of like a blend of rock and roll, rockabilly, and sort of punk music, I guess. You know, we try not to play it sort of like too traditional style, I guess, when we play rockabilly. We try and add a little bit more sort of grit to it. You know, sort of what the Rolling Stones and the Beatles did when they were sort of playing all the guys from the 50s, you know?
Yeah.
Just did it a little bit more modern, you know?
Yeah, and so the stuff that's recorded is a mix of covers and originals?
Yeah, a bit of both.
Bit of both, yeah. So it's something to look forward to, because then people aren't only hearing a rehash of an old song done differently,
that's right.
but there's some new stuff.
Yeah. And it takes a few albums to sort of establish yourself as a band, you know, for us to get our own sound and stuff, you know. The days of the sort of big record labels in Australia are sort of, really only signing really commercial sort of stuff, you know. So,
Do you self-produce?
sure, yeah, we do. We have the studio here, which is Corey's dad's, and I have a studio at home as well. And yeah, I mean, you know, self-producing sort of goes sort of hand in hand with being independent, I guess. You know, again, it's all about sort of doing it your way. And you know, if you sort of want that retro sound or something, you go and get an amp from 1958 and you get that sound, and you know, it's sort of fun, you know, and you learn along the way, you know.